was in a speed racing accident, and I crashed, and my girlfriend's sister died.
Growing up, I was the only child for about 6 years, and I can remember praying to my mother, "Mom, please have a little sister for me. I'm so bored. I don't have anybody to play with." And every night I would pray to my mom for a little sister. And then finally, she came. And it was like the happiest moment of my life. It was just like a little baby sister to take care of and help wash and clean and watch over. Growing up, I can remember us always getting into our arguments and her wanting to get into my stuff, and I'd get upset. "Crystal, just, jeez." Or I'd tell my mom, "Mom, get Crystal out of here. She's bothering me and my friends," and everything. But then I've noticed in the past year, I've started to grow closer to her. It was one of those nights that my sister and I were really getting along. We were shopping together, shopping for clothes. It was just one of those fun nights, and everybody was having fun. We were all in the car. My little brother was sitting behind my boyfriend, and my sister was sitting behind me. We're on our way home to my house, and a little ways up, we came to an intersection, and a white car pulls up beside us and, starts revving his engine and everything, and I didn't know what to say. It just seemed like an everyday thing. It's not, but it just seemed like it was. I don't remember saying this, but my little brother had told me that I had seen the truck pull out in front of us, and I yelled at him. And it was too late. We were way too close. He tried to slam on his brakes and swerve out of the way.
I was the first unit there. Found a Ford Mustang that had run off the road, gone through a couple of trees, and ended up in the grassy area in front of one of the local businesses. The driver, when I got there, was noticeably upset. He was outside the car already. When I ran up on the scene, I said, "Who was driving this car?" He said he was. He was dazed, very upset, as you can imagine. There were still 3 kids inside the back seat of the Ford. The back of the car was basically obliterated.
They were trying to pull me out of the car. I can just remember them putting me on the stretcher and trying to struggle because I couldn't stand being strapped down onto a board, and it scared me. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever been through.
When I went to Crystal, I checked her. Her breathing was strange. I slipped my hand behind Crystal's head, and I thought what I was holding onto was maybe like a bun of her hair or a ponytail. It turned out, of course, the back of her head had a lot of trauma to it, and she basically, that I was holding her brains in her head.
We got a phone call, and it was my dad. My dad said, "Your kids were in an accident, and you need to come home because Crystal needs you." We got to the hospital, and they said, "Jeff and Kathy, Crystal's not doing good. You gotta go and see her." And we went in and saw AJ, and he kept asking, how's Crystal doing? And we said, "Not very well." And then we went to Jenny, and That night, she didn't really know what was going on. She woke up not knowing where Crystal was or anybody, and we had to take her down there to see Crystal, too.
It kind of upsets me that it took me that long to figure out how much she means to me and how big of an impact she has on my life. It really is true about what they say. You don't realize what you have until it's gone. Because I regret every day what happened. And it upsets me that I can't do anything about it now. I wish I could, but I can't.
Their attorneys always come to me and tell me, gosh, this is such a great kid or a great person, and they didn't mean to do it, and sending them to prison isn't going to do any good, and they're so sorry and they're so devastated. And then I have the victim's family, and I talk to them, and to them, there's no amount of jail in the world that's enough oftentimes. But at some point, there is always a compromise, and there is an amount of jail that is determined, and there does need to be some punishment. It's often easy for people who know that they're sorry to think, gosh, well, I didn't mean to do it, you know, please don't punish me. And unfortunately, that can't happen. And you know, as I said, these are very difficult cases, and everyone seems to lose in the end.
There is a real problem, and this problem are with people who do not think before they act. They begin to believe that a car is some kind of a symbol of power, fun, entertainment, or something like that. And if you were unfortunate enough to injure another person, even if it was someone in your vehicle, or you kill somebody, I don't care if you're 16, 17, 18, or 35, you're going to end up in jail for a long time.
It's pretty hard to deal with this. It's my first time in prison. I've never thought I would be here. It's the first time I ever gotten in trouble. Just never came in my mind that it could happen that quick, just in a second. I lost pretty much everything that 1 second.
Well, Edgar, he was like a big brother to me. And I just really liked him a lot until he did this to our family. It really made us all sad.
This kid, out of all my daughter's boyfriends, when I said I want her home at a certain time, she'd be there, if not earlier. He did not do drugs, did not drink, did not smoke. We felt very safe that our kids were with him. This kid would never do something like that, and I know he's hurting very much inside because I could tell by the way he acted around us how much he enjoyed the family. And it was like, I think, losing his own sister.
The white car that was actually racing the Mustang had fled the scene before my arrival, and we didn't find that vehicle until a few days later when the young man that was driving that, confronted by his parents, came forward and said that he was driving that car.
Right now I'm in the Oregon Summit program of the Oregon Department of Corrections. It's a really good program. They offer self-discipline and ways to change your life, confronting behaviors which destruct your life and your family. You're up at 5:30 in the morning and you're doing some basic exercises such as push-ups and stretches, and you do some running, and then you do classes such as cognitive, alcohol and drug treatment, 12-step meetings, and helps you build your self-esteem.
I just want to ask you this. Is it worth it? And that's the question that only you can answer. Because if you don't answer that question right, you're going to be seeing me. There will be no choice. I'll be putting you in the penitentiary. That's not the worst part of it. You're going to carry with you for the rest of your life that feeling inside that you can't get rid of what you've done to another human being.
Never take your life for granted. Don't ever think that you don't have a say in what happens with your life. If you know and if you have the feeling that something bad could happen, tell them to stop or tell them to drop you off and get out of the car. Because your life is too precious to risk over something stupid like racing.
Every night, I lay in bed and I think about what I could have changed. I could have